This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, welcome everyone. By popular demand, after 3 Shiurim on this subject, people were just begging me to continue. And even though I wanted to go on to new topics, I was not able to counter the wishes of so many of you who said we just can't get enough of the birds. So we're going to continue. We're almost there. I got messages from around the world, even to places where birds don't fly. I got messages, Rabbi, you didn't finish the birds yet. So here it is. It's based on the Yerushalmi. The Yerushalmi says that one of the Amoram made a statement that he was never able to have kavana during Shemoneh Esrei, and one time he tried and he got distracted by not knowing what comes first, the Reish Galusa or an Akavsa. And to remember that part, check it out, TorahAnytime.com. That we explained in the first year. And then Shmuel came along, and Shmuel said, I don't have a problem concentrating during Shemoneh Esrei. Ana manis efrei chaya. I just count the birds. Anyone who counts the birds, and I tell you from personal experience, if you follow the advice of Shmuel, your Shemoneh Esrei will never be the same. I've been trying to do this, and my Shemoneh Esrei, I don't know whether it's better or worse, it's very different, okay? So, but it really intensifies my kavanah, at least a little bit, and that is, this is based on the statement of Shmuel, that in order to have kavanah by Shemoneh Esrei, you have to count the birds. So the first step is, why would counting the birds have anything to do with Shemoneh Esrei? We know there are 20 birds in this week's Parsha and 21 in Re'eh. Well, there's a Gemara in Chulin, Amar Rabbi Avo, the Aya, the Daya, the Ra, and the Da are all one bird. So the truth is, both in Shemini and in Re'eh, there are 19 birds. 19 birds? Can you imagine such a thing? 19 birds? There are 19 Berachos in Shemoneh Esrei. That's right. Each bird corresponds to another bracha of Shemoneh Esrei. In order to be mechavein properly, you need to focus on the bird. So I'm just going to give you a little flavor and taste. The first bird mentioned in both Parshios is the Nesher. What's a Nesher? Everyone says the eagle. I also thought it was an eagle. But I got an email this morning from a good friend of mine. I'm not going to say his name yet. And he's a very knowledgeable individual and a dear friend of mine. And he says, no, it's not the eagle. Disney says the Christian Bible says it's the eagle. It's the vulture. But people don't like the vulture. I'm not convinced yet. I'm pretty sure all the Rishonim learn it's taka, an eagle. But one thing we know about the eagle is one of the highest flying birds. And as opposed to other birds that carry its young in its arms, the eagle carries its bird on its wings, because the eagle says, I don't have to worry about other birds swooping down. The only thing I have to worry about is missiles being hurled at me, and better that the missile hit me than hit my young. This is called what midah? Mogain. Yeah, Nesher is Mogain Avraham. If you want to get a hargasha of what the Rebbeinu Shalom does for Klal Yisrael and protects us, and says, like when he took us out of Mitzrayim, better that the missile hit me than hit you. So if you want to get a picture of what the Rebbeinu Shalom does for us, think about the Nesher. So when you think about an eagle, your first bracha will never be the same. And then the second bird is the Ozniya. It's the third bird. You missed the Shiur. What can I tell you? You could always do tshuva. We're not up to the bracha of tshuva yet. But when we get up to the bracha of tshuva, one of the kavanos you should have is for missing that Shiur. So the third bird, which corresponds to the second bracha, is the Ozniya. Ozniya is oiz, strength. That's gevurais, the midah of Yitzchak. Peres, which is half, is Yaakov Avinu. It's half rachamim, half din. The fourth is da'a aya lamina, and that's in Shemini. In Re'eh, it's aya daya ra'a. That's why we say two things. That's connected to two birds in Shemini. Is connected to 3 birds in Re'eh. Okay. Then we move on to the bracha of tshuva. And the bracha of tshuva corresponds to the oirev, the raven. Why? Because the raven starts off black and turns white. The antithesis of tshuva, where you start off, the raven starts off white and turns black. The antithesis of tshuva, where you start off black and you turn white. Now we're up to slicha. How do you request for slicha? You cry! And you scream, and you whine, like who? Like the ostrich. Now, and that's why the bracha of Slach Lanu Avinu is connected, the Bas Hayana. Bas Hayana is literally the ostrich egg. The Makar, that the eggs of behim of oifos tamea are tameh is from the ostrich egg. And if you want to know what an ostrich egg looks like, you have to watch this Wednesday night shiur, also Torah.com, where we had a real live ostrich egg. Did I bring it here?
No.
I didn't bring it here, but you could see it on the video, a real live ostrich egg all the way from Africa. Okay.
I mean, not live, right?
Yeah. It's a real, it's not alive, but it's live. Okay? V'es hatachmas. We move on to the bracha of Re'eh. Re'eh v'anyenu v'riva rivenu. We need redemption from trouble, from chamas. The Ibn Ezra says the bird tachmas is a lashon of chamas. Then we go to the shachaf. The shachaf, what's the first illness mentioned in the Torah? Shachefes. So therefore the shachaf is, the Ibn Ezra says, is moiled shachefes etz rifa'inu. Then the bird with the most feathers, the bird that stops the southern wind, that ruins the crops, is the nates, the sparrowhawk, that has the most proliferation of feathers. Therefore, when we daven that Hashem should give us parnasa, we think of the nates, the sparrowhawk. Then we get up to the bracha of Tekah b'shofar gadol. Tekah b'shofar gadol is to blow the great horn that will restore and turn around the sin of Adam Arishon, who sinned with his eyes and sinned with his listening. The kais, which is a type of owl, is the only bird that has eyes like a human being and has cheeks that could daven and make noise like a human being. That is the bracha of Tekah b'shofar gadol. We are now up to the bracha of Hashiva, Shoftenu, Kvar Rishayna, V'yayatzenu, Kvar Techila, the 11th bracha. And today we're going to learn the 11th, the 12th, 13th, and we're going to get down and dirty in the birds. Okay, we're getting really into the birds now. We're up to the shalach. Here's the problem. The problem is that it's at this point in time where Parsha Shemini and Parshas Re'eh are divergent and they are on a different order. So now it's going to be really complicated, to the point where this is all based on the essay of and the sefer of Rabbi Shua Heller and the sefer based Tefillah, where his whole thesis is based on the order of the birds. But he says, now that Shemini and Re'eh diverges, it's you would think it's impossible to come up with any kind of thematic approach when Shemini, the 11th bird in Shemini is the Shalach, and the 11th bird in Re'eh is the Yanshuf. So, can I borrow your pen for a minute? Thank you. The Shalach is going to be Hashiva Sheftenu, and in Re'eh, the Yanshuf is going to be Hashiva. Melech Oiv Stak Mishpat. The Yanshuf is going to be V'la Malshinim, and in Re'eh, the Tinshames is going to be V'la Malshinim. And the Tinshames is going to be the Tzadikim in Shemini, and the Kas is going to be the Tzadikim in Re'eh. The Kas is going to be...
What's called? Ka'at. What kind of bird was his
name? The Kas is going to be the Yushalayim, and the Racham is going to be the Yushalayim. And the Esemach David is going to be the Racham, and the Shalach is going to be Esemach David. So here's something very interesting. In Shemini, the Shalach is Hashiva Shavten Kvar Rishayna, and in Re'eh, the Shalach is Esemach David. Think about it. How many brachas of Geula are there? There's Hashiva Shavtenu, there's La Malshinim, there's Tzadikim, there's Yushalayim, and there's the Samach David. So the beginning of the Geula in Shemini is the end of the Geula in Re'eh. The beginning of the Geula in Shemini is the end of the Geula. Now, we also have to remember the Zohar, remember what we learned in the last year on Wednesday, that there's a difference between Vayikra and Devarim. Vayikra is Chorban Bayis Risha and Devarim is Chorban Bayis Sheni. Okay? And with that, let us begin. Number 3, the base tefillah of Rabbi Shua Heller is the bracha of Hashiva. Now he says we have the discrepancy between the birds, between the way they're arranged in Taras Kayanim and the way they're arranged in Mishnah Torah. In Taras Kayanim, the Shalach is Hashiva. It's the 11th bracha. And in Mishnah Torah, the Yanshuf corresponds to this bracha. I tell you what you need to know, okay? And the shalach is going to be in Torah's Kayanim to the bracha of Hashiva. And in Mishnah Torah, it's going to be at Samach David. Got it? Right? So the shalach, we're up to 11, is Hashiva in Shemini, and is at Samach David in Re'eh. The Yanshuf in Mishnah Torah is Hashiva. In Torah's Kayanim, it's V'lam Malshinim. In Mishnah Torah, the Tinshames is V'lam Malshinim. So basically, says the Beis Tefillah, a person should just, throw up his hands in utter despair, that there's no way to try to make heads or tails on these birds. If the Hashiva is the Shalach in Shemini, and it's the Yanshuf in Re'eh, if V'lam Malshinim is the Yanshuf in Shemini, and the Tinshames in Re'eh, and if the Racham is a Samach David in Shemini, and the Shalach in Re'eh. He says, but the fact that the first 10 birds corresponded perfectly to the first 10 brachos of Shemoneh Esrei should give us some hope that we could sort of plug our way through this, and with B'siyata D'Shmaya try to figure out why there are these discrepancies, and why now all of a sudden the birds switch from Shemini to Re'eh. So let's begin in the following way. What's the first galus and what's the last galus? Well, how many galusim are there? 4, which are really 8. Right? Like many times said, Bavel Kazdi, Madayim Paras, Yavan and Moikdan, Yishmael and Esav. So the first galus is Bavel, and the last galus is Edom. Galus is compared to what? The day or the night? The nighttime. Especially galus of Edom. Like it says in Yeshaya, Masa Duma, a prophecy of Duma, Rashi says, is Edom. Shomer ma milayla, shomer ma milel. Galus Edom is like the night. And therefore, the beginning of the galus and the end of the galus, if galus is like night, then what would you call the beginning of the galus and the end of the galus? Twilight. Twilight. How do you say twilight in Hebrew? Twilight is neshef. The Gemara in Berachos that we learned over here, look at number 6, Al Amar Rava, Trei Nishri Havu. Neshef Lel Yav Asa Yamama, there's the twilight of the night and the day coming. And Neshef Yamama Asa Lel, the twilight of the day and the night coming. Okay. Look at number 12. Min Yadua, we know that Golos Bavel is compared to Golos Amalek. Amalek here means Edom. Now I'll tell you the truth, I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea what he means, that Golos Bavel is compared to Golos Edom. I don't know where it's compared, how it's compared, and what comparison there is. But they are both compared to the nighttime, either the beginning or the night. I guess what he means, they're compared because I guess that's exactly what he's saying, that the Bavel is the beginning of the night, and Edom is the end of the night. Okay, that's how we say Shomer ma milayla on Golos Amalek, because it lasts a long time. But Golos Bavel, Rabbi Isai, was actually the shortest of all the Golosim, and even when we were there, it wasn't really that bad. Therefore, it's compared to Neshef. Neshef is the beginning of the night and the end of the night. Like the Gemara says in Bracha, it's Nashaf Yamama v'asa Lelya, Nashaf Lelya v'asa Yamama. Therefore, Yirmiyah warns the people. Yirmiyah was the Navi who was prophesying about Golos Bavel. He warns the people, Tnu l'Hashem lekechem kavod, v'terem yachshech, u'v'terem yisnagfu ragleichem, before you bang your feet, al harei noshef, on the mountains of twilight. Why was Yirmiyah warning the people about twilight? Because he's warning them about Golos Bavel, and Golos Bavel was the beginning of the night. Or, Nemar, Al Har Nishbeh Unes, it says about Golos Bavel, the mountain of Nishbeh. It's compared to Neshef, the twilight. Raise the banner. And it says in Bamidbar, Es Neshef Chishki Samli Lecharada. Look at number 9. Eis Neshef Chishki Samli Lacharada. So, the Golos Bavel is compared to what? the night, the twilight. Now, Rabbi say, what bird are we going to compare Golas Bavel to? Which bird is going to be compared to Neshef? What do you think? Yan Shuf. The Yan Shuf. And in fact, so you say, Yan Shuf Neshef. Wait a minute, not Look in Ibn Ezra, look at number 10. Yan Shuf Oif Oifef Beneshef. Yan Shuf is a bird that flies in twilight, because it can't see during the day. Therefore, Rabbi said, look in Re'eh. What bird compares to the beginning of the Golos and the beginning of Hashiva Shevtenik Varishayna? The Yanshuf. The Yanshuf. Vim Kain Efo, Niaches, the birds, to the Yanshuf. Because it flies during the twilight. Now, what do we know about the Yanshuf? The Yanshuf, like the Kois, has eyes. It's a type of owl. It also has cheeks. That's why, you know what it's called, the Yanshuf? The Yanshuf in the Targum is called Kipufa, a type of owl. And the Gemara Nida says they both have eyes, they both have cheeks. Therefore, by Bavel, it says the same idea, Re'iyah, like, look at number 8, Al Har Nishbes Unes. And then it says, Shmiya, Harimu Koil. V'nemar, and it says in Yirmiyah, Unes Be'eretz Tiku Shofar Bagoyim. And it says, so therefore, the Yanshuf is the beginning of Golos Bavel. And by the way, it wasn't such a bad Golos, so we don't really need a major redemption with just Hashiva Shevtenik Varishayna. That's the Yanshuf, which is B'shas Neshef at a time of twilight. Okay, Rabbi Isai. Better than, at least they did Tshuva. Times of Ezra. Look at number 13. Another thing that we see, what do we compare the multitude of the nations to? What are the nations of the world compared to? The abundant waters of the sea, the abundant waves, like in the Navi Yeshaya. Look at number 13. Hoi, wo, hamoin amim rabim, the multitude of many nations, kahamois yamim yehamoyan, like the multitude of seas, they will make a lot of commotion. Okay? Or usha'oin lu'umim kisha'oin mayim kabirim. Or like the Navi Yeshaya says, v'harasha'im kayom nigrash. The wicked will sweep like the sea. Ki hashket lo yuchal. They cannot be tranquil. Or, okay, so what are the nations of the world compared to? Friends. Elo, what do you say? What are the nations of the world compared to? The waters. And what is the redemption compared to? Klal Yisrael is then in the water, we're drowning. And that's why in Tehillim it says, Amar, Adoishem, mi Bashan Ashiv, I will restore from the Bashan. Ashiv mi Metzulas Yam, I will restore from the depths of the sea. So the removal from the exile is the removal and the salvation from the waters. Or like the Navi Hosea says, Acharei Hashem yelchu ka'aryeh yishag, after God we will go like a roaring lion, and the children will be stirred from the sea. So the Goyim are compared to the sea, and the redemption is the removal of the sea. Marv Rabbi Isai, what bird are we up to in Shemini? The Shalach. What's a Shalach? You remember the Gemara in Chulin. A Shalach is the bird who swoops the fish out of the sea. A bird that swoops out of the sea. Rashi says, Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Shalach zeh shodom. So what does it represent? That bird represents redemption from Golos. So therefore, Hashiva Shevtenik Varishayna is the Shalach, the bird that sweeps the fish out of the sea. We're the fish, we're a dog. Not just because my initials are Doug, Daniel Glatstein, but the Klal Yisrael of a Yid Gula Roiv, Klal Yisrael says, are compared to the fish. Okay. In fact, what do we call the Shalach? Shalei Nuna. Shalei, to remove Nuna, fish. So comes the Beis Tefillah, and he says, what's the Shalach? He says, it's known that the multitude of the nations are compared to the waters. And Amalek is compared to the sea. And Klal Yisrael are considered like drowning in the sea. It says about them, Amar Hashem, Mi Bashan Ashav Hashem Tzulas Yam. And the Geula then is the salvation from the sea. Hashem will yank us out, like the Shalach, that it says about the Shalach, Zeh Hashoila Dagim and Ayam. And we metargem Shalach as Shalenuna. Like the Pasuk says, Klal Yisrael, V'yidgu laroiv b'kerev ha'aretz. What do you mean? We're going to be multitudinous like fish in the land? V'yidgu laroiv b'kerev ha'aretz. We're going to be like fish on the land? Yeah, because in the sea and the Golos it doesn't work. The Goyim are the Yamim. We want to be like fish ba'aretz. My Rabbi said, let's continue. So that means in Parshas, Re'ei, Galos Bavel, and Hashiva Ziyanshuf, at the time of Neshef. But it's also compared to the Shalach, which is the being plucked out of the Galos.
Here it says the Shalach is a fish arrow.
Okay. Now we mentioned that there are 8 Galosim. Like it says in the 6th parak of Tehillim, Lam Natsech ala Shminis Mizmar LeDavid. There are 4 Golosim which are 8. Edom is the 8th. How's that? Reishe Didahav Tav, the head, the arms, the chest, the stomach, the legs, and they are Bavel, Kazdim, Madai, Paras, Yavan, Moikdan, Yishmal, and Edom. Marv Rabbi Sai. So far we have bird 11 in Shemini is the Shalach, and in Re'eh it's the Yanshuf. So it's amazing that the beginning of the Galos is the Shalach in Re'eh, in Shemini, and the end of the Galos is the Shalach in Re'eh. Here's another thing. Now we're going to talk about the bird, the Tinshames. That's the bracha of Alat Tzadikim. Where else is Tinshames mentioned in the Torah? Tinshames is mentioned one more time in the Torah, and that is again in Parsha Shemini. Because not only is it a bird, it's also a rodent. It's also a sheretz. Look at number 12. V'zeh lochem atamei b'sheretz hasheretz ala oretz hachoyled v'achbar v'hatzav l'mineu v'anok v'akoy v'otov v'achoymet v'hatin shames.
In German it's called the Fledermaus. You just have that.
Yeah? The tinshames is a rodent and a bird. It's the 8th rodent. And now we're going to learn a new concept. Look at number 23. V'haya.
Here it says it's the barn owl.
V'haya zeh shalom. And it will be peace. Ashur ki yavai v'yartzenu. V'chiyidroich b'armanoisenu. V'hakimaynu alav shivaroyim. I'm going to give you the 7 shepherds. Ushmayna nesichei adam. And the 8 princes. You ever hear of the 7 shepherds? We invoke it once a year.
No,
in the Mysore. Hakim lanu raya shiva. But that we don't just want the raya shiva. We want the shmayna nesichim. Who are the shmayna nesichim? This is the Gemara in Sukkah. Yishai, Shaul, Shmuel, Amais, Tzefanya, Tzidkiyahu, Mashiach, Eliyahu. But the correct guess is Eliyahu Mashiach. Why is Mashiach number 8? Because the 8 princes are connected the 8 Golosim. The 8 Golosim are connected the 8 rodents. Each rodent is a different Golos. You know why you're not to eat a rodent? You put Klal Yisrael back in Golos. You know why you're not to eat non-kosher? You empower the Ummah Yisraelim. You destroy the Jewish people. A Jew who eats non-kosher destroys the Jewish people. You put us in Golos. Golos comes from being metame be'macholes asuros. Look at the end of Shemini. Hashem just gave me a matana right now. Look at the end of Shemini, Rashi and Shemini. Look at Memhei. Ki ani Hashem hamala escha me'eretz Mitzrayim. Rashi says, I only took you out that you're makabel my mitzvahs. Tanad Be'er Shmuel. It would have been enough. 1 second. Rashi says the whole reason God took us out of Mitzrayim is not to be Matam B'Shratzim. You know why? Because Mitzrayim is the shoyresh of all the Golosim. So for Matame B'Shratzim, then we have to go back to Mitzrayim. But Rashi uses a lashon, otherwise we belong to Nebuchadnezzar. What does Nebuchadnezzar got to do with anything? No, because by contaminating yourself with Machalei Sasurais, you're basically placing yourself back in the Golos. Okay, but Tinshames, which Rashi says is the kalba, and is like a mouse. It's basically a mouse that flies at night. What is that called?
Barn owl.
A bat. A bat.
In German it's called a Fleder mouse, Mamasha mouse.
Okay. And the Tinshames is like it. And it has no eyes, Rashi says. So the eighth rodent is Edom. And that's why the eighth Nasikh, the eighth prince, is Mashiach. Because Mashiach will take us out of Golos Edom. So look at number 26. Ulam hayras oif hatin shames hu kasher oimer. Hine amru b'medrash. They say in the medrash, Lam natseach ala shminis arba malchuya shem shmeina. And Edom is the eighth. Fine. And he quotes over here this whole medrash that we read. It's Keneged, the eight Golosum, which is the eighth one is Edom, are the eight Shratzim, and Tinshames is the eighth. And the reason why it's called Tinshames is because Edom was the one who stopped the bringing of the Karban Tamid and put a Shikutz Shoimim in the Mikdash. Kenegdai B'Kedusha is Mashiach. Now Rashi says the Tinshames listed in the birds, and the Tinshames and the Shratzim is the same thing. Therefore, here on the final page, so this bird, Tinshames, is Keneged Edom, the eighth of the Malchios. So it's interesting. The Tinshames is going to be Ala Tzadikim Al Chasidim, the third in Shemini, and also, right, in other words, it's going to be Shalach Yanshav Tinshames, and here it's going to be the second in Re'eh. So what is this all about? How do we explain this? Let's see if we can make heads or tails on these birds. And look at number 27. Amar Reb Yirmiyah ben Elazar miyoim shechara beis hamikdash dayoy la'olam sheyishtamesh b'shtei osiyos. From the day that the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, it's enough for the world to use two letters. Shenemar, Kol haneshama tahalel ka haleluka. Every soul should praise God, haleluka. The day the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Kol haneshama tahalel ka, not Yud Ke Vav Ke, but tahalel ka. Somehow, anybody here Yeshaya? Anybody here Yirmiyah? Anybody here Gedalia? Anybody here? Okay, what's your Hebrew name?
About
I didn't ask. I'll let you know if I need to know your name. What's your name?
Aaron. Aaron Aryeh.
No. No. Jeffrey.
Yitzchak.
Just one name?
Yes.
Good, okay. What's your name?
Eliezer Moshe.
Yaakov?
Yosef.
Yosef Dov Yitzchak.
Ruben Baruch.
Okay, we're doing good so far. What are we, okay? Tzvi.
Moshe Eliezer. Eliezer Moshe.
Okay.
You got Ezra.
Ezra HaSofer. Shalom Dov. Moshe.
Yaakov Tzvi.
No, we have no Gedalia, Yirmiyah, Yeshaya, Chizkiah, Tzidkiah, but really their names should be Yirmiyahu, Gedaliyahu, Tzidkiyahu, Chizkiyahu, but we drop the Vav, because when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, we only use Ka. Same way we use Ka, we use Yirmiyah, Yeshaya, Chizkiah, not Yirmiyahu, Chizkiah. Fine. Another interesting thing we're going to discuss is that when Shlomo Melech married the daughter of Paroi, Gavriel came and he stuck a kaneh. Literally, kaneh is what? A reed, but it could also mean a windpipe. He stuck a windpipe in the sea, and it gathered dust, and Edom was built on a windpipe. or on a reed. So I know now you're all confused. You don't know what bird is what bracha. You don't know why I asked everybody their name. You don't even know why we say Kohen Shem Halakha and why in the world Gavriel put a windpipe in the sea. Okay? All in a day's work. Maybe after the Shiur we'll know some of the above things, but no promises. Okay? Let's see the final Maramakai. In the Sefer Beis Tefillah, when you look further, you'll see a very deep matter. Chazal say from the day the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, the world only needs to use 2 letters. But what's the deeper meaning here? We have 2 parts of the body. What are the 2 main parts of the body?
Head in the heart. Brain in the heart.
That's what you would have thought.
Brain in the heart.
Digestion, respiration. Food, air. Those are the 2 main parts of the body. Eating, breathing. On the right side you have the veshet, the windpipe. And the windpipe takes the food to the stomach, to the intestines. And you have the liver, and the food pipe, the veshet. The veshet. It takes the food to the stomach, to the intestines, liver, kidneys. Okay, that's one part of the body, the veshet. Then you have the koneh, the windpipe, takes the air to the lungs. And then the lungs bring it to the heart. So those are the 2 main parts of the body. The right side is chesed. Food is chesed. Air, the windpipe is din. Now, you always you do things with your right hand. Who here is a righty? One person here is a righty, and everyone else is sleeping. Fine. What?
I'm a lefty.
You're a lefty. So who here is a righty? Who here is a lefty? What was the strange share? 90 people here are lefty. There are more lefties here even than people in the share. It's amazing. So the right side is midas hachesed, the left side is midas hadin. You always have to give dominance to the right side. That's why you pick up the negel vaser cup. You want to wash your right hand first. So how do you pick up the cup with your right hand and wash your right hand? You pick it up with your right hand, then you put on your left side. You always do the right over the left. Chesed over din. That's why when you lean, what side do you lean on? The left side. Why? Shemayaktim koneh leveshet. Because you might choke. We don't care about choking. We care more that the windpipe will go before the food pipe. And the windpipe is din, and the food pipe is rachamim, and you always have to be careful not to be yaktim koneh leveshet. Fine. Because if you do, you're going to come to sakana. Yishmael, now in the klipa, on the bad side, Yishmael comes from the right side. Yishmael is an offshoot of Avraham Avinu, chesed. On the other hand, Amalek, which is Esav, comes from Yitzchak, the left side. Admoini. Amalek Esav is the koneh that stands on the smile. That's why, where did Esav come from? Esav came when Gavriel, who's Midas Hadin, not Michal, who's Midas Rachmim, Gavriel, Midas Hadin from the left side, came and stuck what into the sea? Koneh. A windpipe. Esav comes from the windpipe, the sad small. Even though we've said in a share the exact opposite, but you don't remember that share, so it's okay. But it's a major discussion, because usually we say Yaakov is the Koneh, Hakol Kol Yaakov, and Esav is Vayivaz, Esav is HaBechor, Vishat, Veshet. But now we're saying,
He's only interested in food anyway.
But now we're saying Esav comes from the left side. That's why Gavriel stuck the Koneh in the sea. Therefore, b'shasha hakol kol Yaakov, that corrects the koneh. We overcome Esav and we fix Esav and we don't have to worry about him. Okay, now ready for this? Kol haneshama tahalel ka. What do we learn from that pasuk? Al kol neshima v'neshima tahalel ka. For every breath you have to praise Hashem. So it's explaining that the koneh, which is the windpipe, is breathing. So the koneh, the windpipe, is who? Esav. Esav is which rodent? Tinshames, Neshima, the 8th rodent. That's why Esav is the Tinshames, the windpipe. Esav is the windpipe. That's why we say the Tinshames on the very pasuk that we darshan. Al kol Neshima v'Neshima tzarich l'kales ka. Therefore, on that pasuk we darshan miyom shachar beis hamikdash. The world only uses 2 letters because of that windpipe, which is Esav. Hashem's name is not Shalem until Amalek is wiped off. Okay, let's continue in Parak Chav Gimel and number 29. So basically, we've established 3 birds: the Yanshuf, the Tinshames, and the Shalach. The Yanshuf is Galos Bavel, twilight, the beginning of the night. The Tinshames is Esav, the Kaneh, the 8th rodent. And the Shalach is how we get out of both of them. We're swooped out of the water through the pelican.
No, it's the fish owl, according to this fish.
The pelican, yeah?
No,
it's
some
the
sort of a species of an owl
that
that down and
dive.
the pelican. Thank you. So there.
It's not pelican.
So that's the Shalach. That's the Nuna, the bird that comes and swoops Klal Yisrael out of the Galas. So the Tinshames is Edom, the Yanshuf is Bavel, and the Shalach gets us out of both. So now let's look at the Psukim in Shemini and in Re'eh. The Shalach is first in Shemini, followed by Bavel, followed by Edom. It's a Pele. In Shemini, first comes the Geula, then comes Bavel, and then comes Esav. As opposed to, in Parshas Re'eh, first comes Bavel, then comes Edom, and then comes the Geula. Haloi Davarhu. In Shemini, first comes the Shalach, the Geula, and then Bavel and Edom. And in Re'eh, first comes Bavel and Edom, and then comes the Geula. What's the pshat? Oh, it's a good thing you came to the Shiur. The Yanshuf, the Tinshames, and the Shalach. The Yanshuf is Bavel. The Tinshames is Amalek. The Shalach is the Geula. Now we could explain how it fits into the Shemoneh Esrei based on the Psukim in Vayikra and in Devarim. Now we already said from the Zohar HaKadosh that the Psukim and Taras Kaihanim are talking about until Bayesheni. And those that are spoken about in Devarim are talking about Bayesheni and the Churban Ad La'asalavai. Now we know one thing. In Golos Bavel, Malchus Beis David was not restored. We were just ruled by Shoftim and Yoyatzim. But Malchus Beis David will not be restored until the Gula Asida, like the pasuk promises, Va'avdi David Nasi Aleim. In Torah's Kayanim, in Vayikra, which is Bayis Rishon, first comes the Shalach, the Geula. The Geula that denotes Geula from Galus Bavel. That's why in Hoshiva Shavtein for Rishona we don't say one word about Malchus Beis David, because the Geula of Torah's Kayanim, we don't discuss Malchus Beis David. Malchus Beis David is not relevant. Rather, we talk about the restoration of the Yoyatzim and the Shoftim, because Taras Kayanim is talking about Gulas Bavel. So in Gulas Bavel, we start with the Shalach, we don't mention a word about David, but in Mishnah Torah, this bird, the Shalach, is connected to what? What's the Shalach in Re'eh? If you're following. In Shemini, the Shalach is just a minor Geula from Galus Bavel without Malchus Beis David. It's Hashiva Shem Zayin Gvar Shaina. But in Re'eh, which is Mishnah Torah, which is the Geula from Edom, the Shalach is a Semach David Avdachatz Mamish Harainu Mitarasai Neflais. Shiba Koshas Hachzaras Malchus Beis David Segula Hasida. That's yeah. Now, what's the request of Elam Oshinim? We ask Hashem to destroy all the heretics, all the left wing, all the liberals, all those who want to tamper with ethics, morals, and Torah Misinai. We ask Hashem, destroy them. Therefore, in Galus Bavel, who ruled over us? The Kazdim. They are the Berachos Haminim. But, so the Kazdim are the Minim in Galus Bavel. In Galus Amalek, who are the Minim? The Edoimim. So L'umas, Galus Bavel and Kazdim, you have which bird? The Yanshuf, right? Because the Yanshuf is Bavel. So listen carefully. What's Filam Al-Shinim in Tairas Kayanim? Tairas Kayanim, it's all about Galus Bavel. So the redemption is without Malchus Beis David. And Galus Bavel, who are the Minim, the Kazdim. So the Yanshuf is Filam Al-Shinim, because we have to deal with the Yanshuf is Galus Bavel. They're the Minim. As opposed to in Mishnah Torah, the Minim are Edoim. Therefore the Tinshames is Filam Al-Shinim. Unbelievable. L'chein ba b'seder ha'maracha sheb'taras kayanim. In Taras Kayanim, V'lam Hashinim is Galus Bavel, the Yanshuf, because that's Bavel. And in Mishnah Torah, Berachos Haminim is Edoim, because that's what we're dealing with. Rabbi said this is all predicated on the fact that there's a fundamental difference between Vayikra and Devarim. Vayikra is Vayis Rishon, Devarim is Vayis Sheni. Vayikra is all about Bavel, Devarim is all about Edom. So Vayikra is all about Bavel. The Geula is without David. And the Rishaim are Babylonians, the Yanshuf. As opposed to in Re'eh, the Geula is David, the Shalach. And who are the Rishaim? The Tinshames, Edom. Finally, last paragraph. V'liyois kimi eis galas Bavel hukam al roish goyla shabai ladan v'lishbait kamasha kasav layasar shevet miyehuda zer roish goyla shabai Bavel. Now we have to deal with something very important. Since Galus Bavel, who were the leaders of Klal Yisrael? From Shevet Yehuda, the Rosh Goylei Bavel, meaning once we were redeemed from Bavel, those who were redeemed were the leaders, like Ezra, like Mordechai, no, not Mordechai, but Ezra, Nehemiah, and Zerubbabel. So v'hayula yad v'shem, they had the ability lachaf mishpatai, like one of the tribes. So mibai sheni ve'elach, and like we find throughout Chazal and throughout history. Therefore, even as Barbanel writes that until his time, the leaders of Klal Yisrael are all from Shevet Yehuda. So therefore, in the order in Mishnah Torah that corresponds to Galus Bavel and on, the Yanshuf, which is the continuity of Bavel. So who would the Yanshuf be in Taras Kayanim? Listen carefully. Bavel itself had a downfall. The only remnant of Bavel were the leaders of the Jewish people from Bavel. They're the Shoftim, they're the Manhigim. They lead the people. And in their Zuchus, we're able to be redeemed. Therefore, Hashiva Sheftenu is Keneged the Yanshuf in Mishnah Torah. So now if you want to have Kavana, and you've been following until now, so you think like this. When you get up to the bracha of Hashiva Shavten Kvar Rishayna, you think like this. When it comes to Bayis Rishon, it's the Shalach, the bird that plucks the fish out of the water, because the original redemption from Galus Bavel was without Malchus Beis David. As opposed to, in Devarim, the bird that you think about is the Yanshuf, the Babylonian leaders. Fine. Then when you want to know, what about the Asemach David Avdecha, we'll have to read further, but Asemach David corresponds to the Shalach in Mishnah Torah, because David HaMelech will be the ultimate bird, so to speak, that yanks Klal Yisrael out of the final exile, which is Galus Edom. In terms of who the Malshinim are, in Vayikra, the Malshinim are the Babylonians. In Devarim, they are the Edomim. But we will see Be'ezus Hashem further next year, because I've gotten so many requests already to continue this next year that I don't even have a choice. Next year we're going to go and continue, and B'ezras Hashem, hopefully finish the Shemoneh Esrei based on the birds. And if you can't wait until then, go out, get yourself the Sefer-based Tefillah, Rabbi Shua Heller, and you'll take a sneak preview ahead of next year's Shiur. Shkayach.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.